Welcome back, fellow sim race fans. We are back with another SimGrid daily race. I've got two to show you today. The first one is at Paul Ricard. The second is at Barcelona. This one is a fairly small grid. We've got, I think, 12 cars it was. I am the silver BMW center screen, car number 8, in 8th place on the grid. Not a massive field, but plenty enough to get you into trouble. So you can see we got Tom Payne, Costello 11, and 11 is the Aston Martin, and lastly the BMW at the back of the grid there. So let's take this a little bit forward and get the race started. I'll keep this view for a minute so you can get a good idea of the overall race and how it started off. The guy in the dark blue, I think that's a Mustang ahead of me. Watch out for him, because this race gets a little interesting. This guy second on the grid is hanging way back. I've got a decent gap both in front of and behind me, so I'm not too nervous, but the guy in the front should be looking very nervous. Oh, there's contact already there. I'm in space, so I'm not too worried. The BMW is just to my left now. That car is pretty quick. I've raced him before, and there's already incident already. Let's take a quick another look at that. I'll take that in reverse. So let's have a look at in slow motion. We can see a little bit better what happened. I'll take the playback speed down to half, and then we'll go back forwards now, so you can see the cars bunch up. And right here, the car left on the right here as of the track, the Ferraris, the two Ferraris at the bottom of the screen there, through turn one pinches the other. It's possible that the car in second there should have kept a bit tighter to the inside, but either way, that's where the contact starts. The first Ferrari spins. There's another couple of cars who've already gone past, so the second Ferrari spins as well, right into the face of the Porsche behind. He then tags the BMW. The Mustang takes avoiding action and goes to the right early enough. I didn't see this too early, but as soon as I do notice it, I try to go round. I hit the back of the Ferrari and just kind of keep going. I can see the escape road ahead of me. So I get really lucky here. I take the escape road and I come out having basically illegally overtaken a few cars. I would have got penalised for that in any other competition. But let's go back to normal racing speeds now. This guy tries to get ahead of me, but I've got the racing line. This other BMW there is one of the quick ones. I've got a lot of respect for him. He's also very clean. Let's have a quick squiz at who he is. Nope, not him. His name is Frank Hessler. Raced against him a couple of times before. Very clean racer, but also very quick. So right now I'm up in P4. So I have gained 4 places despite having contact in the second corner, and I could have lost a number of places there, but as it happened, I just got really lucky and managed to get out in front of a number of them. Up ahead, once again, we've got another contact. I'm going to take that back for a second. Another second look. You can see them at the top of the screen, the two cars going into senior. One just literally turns into the other, which is really silly. And that almost gifts me third place. I'm trying to defend the inside from Hessler, but that car there, the Mustang, ahead of me in third place, is quick and he's greedy. I couldn't get the BMW turned in at that point. I struggled with that a couple of times actually, until I found my braking and turning in points. This is a slightly different setup to the one I was used to. So here we are coming round towards the last corner. I'm conscious of the car behind me, so I take a middle of the road line going into the final corner, which means I lose a couple of tenths to the Mustang. But as he gets down the straight, they just take off, and the Mustangs are really, really quick. So I'm going to pause it again here, take it back a few seconds. If you look at the top of the screen, let's have a quick look at, that's Hessler behind. We're going to go 1, 2 cars behind and keep having a look at that, because there's a car literally diving towards the inside. I don't know what he's doing, but it almost looks like he's about to enter the pit lane and has a second thought about it. Andy Ridge. But this is not too bad. He comes steaming into that corner late on the brakes, but he brakes well and no further damage done. Right, let's catch up with me again. I'm still in 4th. We've only covered the 2 laps so far. My job now is to keep Hessler behind me and to try to catch the Mustang. Not an easy job. He is quick. So I'm going to jump on board now and see if we can get a better idea of how things are panning out. We can see the onboard camera display. Hessler still behind me, and the Mustang is ahead. The little bit of damage I had to the front end didn't play much of a role in top speed. I'm down about 1 or 2 kph. Properly healthy, the car was reaching 282 at the end of that straight. It didn't seem to affect the handling very much, but normally front end damage affects your top speed a lot. Here again, I trying to go too quickly into that corner and didn't make the apex, so I've lost myself about 2 tenths there. Have a look at the traction control here. I try to gain some time on the exit by going down to 2 in later laps, but at this stage I'm more concerned with just keeping the car on the track and keeping everything clean and not spinning until the tyres are fully up to speed. The Mustang, I can see from my timings, is starting to pull away. Every time we get onto a straight there's an extra couple of tenths. It's important for this corner to keep tight to the exit of turn 1 to open up turn 2, because you've got this straight section coming immediately afterwards. Over the blue hatching there to open up this corner, because you don't have any straight after that. You can really dive in late. I prefer second gear for this corner. Some people take it in first. Keep it in second gear as well here. I tried here, as you can see, I tried to short shift to third, and that just bogged the car down. I think I lost at least a quarter of a second, maybe more. And visibly the Mustang is further ahead of me and still pulling away. Now he is right up behind another car. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to take an overhead look. Let's go ahead one to the Mustang. And we'll go upstairs and see with the overhead view. There's not an awful lot happening with me behind, but we can have a quick look at what happens here. The Mustang is harrying that Porsche, and there I come into the picture with Hessler behind me and the other BMW. Mustang visibly closing up under braking. He's starting to get a little bit frustrated, trying to get past that Ferrari. Now last season in league racing I was in the Ferrari, and it's a lovely car to drive. It's so nicely balanced. I found it, apart from the fact you have to use a lot of traction control, it's a very nice car to drive. So here we are, status quo. We are into starting lap 4 now, and I don't think any places are going to change. It looks like the Mustang is just pulling away from me. There's nothing I can do about these two. They're doing late 54s. I am capable of 54s in a short race like this. I can't remember what my lap time was. If I go back to my car, take it back a few seconds. I don't know if it's going to show me. Yes, it is. I'm in the mid 55s, so as you can see they are definitely pulling away. So here we have, once again, positions 2 and 3. The leader has gone. He's just checked out. I can't remember how many seconds he was ahead. But with a clear track ahead of him, he's just pulling away. We can't even see him in the overhead aerial shot here, the helicopter view. But that's not very interesting, is it? So let's stick with this, because as far as I remember, in either this lap or the next, there is a slight incident here. You can see visibly that Mustang catching up with the Ferrari down the straight in the slipstream, and with the greater grunt of that engine. He's really quick. And he goes in really tight into the apex there. Nice line. They're about 2.5-3 seconds behind the leader at this point. Interesting to see the quite shallow line that the Mustang takes through that left-hander there, closing up under braking once again. Max Bonter, I need to keep an eye on him, because he seems to be able to drive that Mustang very well. I tried it briefly, didn't particularly like it, but I haven't spent an awful lot of time with it, so I'm not one to judge. You can see from the view behind, Hessler and I are still battling away. There's nothing much that we are doing. So the interest here is with the race between these two. And then I'll go back and focus on what I'm doing in a little while. Rotation at that corner, that right-hander there is really key if you can get the guy to turn in properly. So here we go, the Mustang closing up once again under braking. He's really close now and looking to get past. We're on to lap 5 of 7. So there's this one and 2 laps to go. Going back onto the back straight. The Mustang's pretty close. It's closer than he was last time. So let's see if he can... he gets back into the slipstream. I think he's quicker on the exit than the Ferrari is, and he's really closing in now. In the slipstream, the Ferrari's defending the inside, but I don't think there's anything he can do about... Oops, the Mustang gets... As you can see, this is really interesting. The Mustang gets really close and pulls out too late. He's basically pulling out with such a closing speed that he tags the rear of the Ferrari, who corrects his line, comes across, and Bonter taps him, and he's off into the wall. But Bonter carries on. So that puts Max, naughty boy, up to P2, and I've gone back to P3. I mean, I'm up to P3. So there I am, P3, and we'll go back on board. And you can see what's going on here. I've figured out this corner a bit better now, so I've got the apex. As you can see, I've got my traction control down to 2 now to give me additional extra grunt out of the corner. Because the higher your traction control, obviously it just slows the car down. And then I'll put it back up to 3 for the rest of the lap, for safety's sake. I'm still in the 55s. I can't remember why. I'm feeling a little bit tentative in this race. In practices, I was doing 2 or 3 454s back to back, but seemingly in the race I'm finding that a bit difficult. Not sure why. Mindset probably. I'm being fairly consistent and taking decent lines here. Hessler has closed up a little bit, and I know that in pure pace he's quicker than me. So all I have to do now is keep him behind me for the next 2 laps. So we've got this one and the next one. I thought about weaving to break the toe, but given that he's got the same car as I have, and he's got probably a very similar setup. I don't think he's going to close up too much unless he comes out of the last corner before that straight within about 2 or 3 tenths. But right now he's about 6 or 7 tenths behind me, and the Mustang is checked out. He's about 3.5 seconds ahead. I am not going to catch him. Bit of oversteer on the exit there. I think I turned in a bit too tight and got on the power a bit too early. Never mind, position is retained, but I'm still doing mid 55s and I'm not happy with it. But Tesla is now right behind me. You can see closing right up under brakes. I'm now getting a bit nervous. I have to really focus, and it makes it even worse by missing the apex of turn 2, the right-hander. I'm now getting even more nervous because I'm a little bit concerned that firstly Tesla is going to just slipstream me down the straight and get past, but I cause him a little bit of concern here by braking slightly early there, and he backs off its head, and now I get a good exit here, and he's very wide. That loses him about a tenth or two, which is just about enough, and we're on the final lap here, and I think I've got this covered. I move out of the slipstream, go back to the center and gently pull it back over to the left here, trying to break the toe. He is catching, but it's hundredths. He's probably within about 3 tenths of him, if I remember correctly now, but I've just got to keep it clean for the rest of the lap. It's really difficult to overtake in the rest of the track here unless you screw up. This is an overtaking place if you've got enough overspeed. This corner encourages mistakes, so I've just got to get that clean, and I do. Once again here as well, I brake late but not too late. Drag the car back into the apex, get on the power early. Keep it off to the right. Square off this last section, brake in a straight line. Follow the lines of the tyres. Pull it over to the left. Open up the last corner. Get on the gas. I'll keep the traction control in third, in 3 that time, just to make sure I didn't slide. And that gets me off the line in third place. Well chuffed with that. 8th place to third gives me a fair amount of grid rating and a nice successful race. Very pleased with that. That was my third race of the day. FYI, the other 2 races I did were earlier in the morning. The first race I did was at Barcelona. There were 4 cars on the grid. I was second on the front row, and the entire race was completely boring because nobody overtook anybody else, and none of us gained or lost any grid rating at all, so there was no particular action, so I'm not even going to review that one. I didn't save the replay, I didn't even bother. So that was that one. If you like that, please give me a comment. But I'm going to, if you want to hang on, I'm going to show you another race. The second one I did today, the one at Barcelona, which was completely different. This one had a big grid, and I was particularly nervous about this one. So here we've got. We're already coming round towards the start. I'm in P9 for this one. Let's get the HUD back on, and we'll go back to that view. You can see I'm right in the middle of the pack. There are 20 cars on the grid here, and obviously at P9 in the middle of the grid I'm a bit vulnerable. The BMW behind me is really quick, and he goes to the inside, and I'm not going to bother to close the door on him. So he's already through. Now here it gets interesting. I'm going to, let's get back to the overhead view, and we can see me in the middle of the track, right in the middle of the screen there. I'm going to slow the pace down a bit here, so we can see everybody is bunching up, but there's no major incidents. Surprisingly, I've already lost 2 places. There's a little bit of contact with those 2 cars there, the Ferraris either side of me, or Ferrari and McLaren. They're both Ferraris, and the orange one gets a little bit of a wiggle, but everybody stays safe. Everybody makes it through the corner, and we're off onto lap 1. The McLaren here tries to go around the outside of me, but I've got good traction, but he gets overtaken by that yellow Ferrari, who is going to cause me some concern a bit later on. So I'm in P12 at this point. I've lost a couple of places. I'm determined not to lose any more, and I'm going to try to keep my head down. The guy ahead of me is a chap named Lakewood. He's now behind me. Car 11, Stephen Lakemond. This turns out to be an interesting battle, actually, because we come together a couple of times. When I say come together, I mean we're sort of side by side on track. But I leave him plenty of space there, and now he gets overtaken by the Ferrari. I didn't really intend that to happen, but there we go. Cars ahead of me. We've had an incident, so let's rewind that about 10 seconds, and we're going to change the camera and see if we can see what happened. So we've got let's have a look from the point of view of the Porsche, Dominic Bosch, and let's roll that on and see what happens. I think it's ahead of him the incident happened, so yes, you can see there's already 2 cars off. So he is impacted by that, and he has to slow down, and he then tags the yellow Ferrari, who tags the BMW. He gets spun round, and it's carnage. Again, a little bit lucky for me. I see it. I've got a bit of a space in front of me, so I'm very cautious here. I actually tagged the side of that Porsche, but fortunately not too much in the way of damage. So let's see if I can find me again. There's Stephen Lakemont. Hang on a second, let's go back a bit. Once again, we've got another incident happening here. 2 more cars going off. Let's take that back a few seconds. So here we've got the McLaren there. The Ferrari just comes back on track and gets tagged by the McLaren. Not very clever at all, that one. But let's get back to where I am. And because of that, I'm back to 10th place. So I'm only now 1 place behind where I started. I am car number 9, as you can see on the display there. This Ferrari ahead of me, I know he's not the quickest guy in the bunch, but he's quick enough that I'm going to have to work hard if I'm going to overtake him. He's been involved in a couple of incidents. I don't know if he's got some damage. So if you guys, you can see here, I've got 3 Ferraris ahead of me and 1 behind. So it's a bit of a Ferrari festival going on, with my big lump of a BMW right in the middle of it all. But this is an interesting move here. I want to go take that one back a bit, because I'm going to go on board. Which way around do I go on board? Let's show the chase cam. You can see here, I'm just following the Ferrari. Then all of a sudden he brakes quite early, and I'm worried about hitting him. So I take to the part of the track that's open and empty, and managed to overtake him. That was completely accidental, but quite happy with that. We're up to P9. He almost hits me from behind there. As I go back to cockpit cam, I need to do a little bit more practice on this track. I'm not sure whether to go through that corner at third or third or fourth. I almost hit the Ferrari here, so I had sort of delayed the turn in just a fraction. But the Ferrari behind, the other one, he braked too deep. Once again, as you can see from a previous race, that Ferrari over that curb there, it just flies. It's really not comfortable with it. Now by this stage we've covered 2 laps. We're about to start lap 3, and the Ferrari ahead of me, where is he? This is car 13, Hugh Doyle. He seems to hit every curb there is, and he's not the quickest car in the box. So he tries to sort of cover the inside, but I'm going to try to go around the outside of him here. Does this work? I brake a little bit later, leave him plenty of space, maybe too much space, And no, that's not going to work, so I'm over the curbs and he's back ahead of me again. I've got a bit of space behind, so I'm not too bothered with that. So I have to try again. P8 now, so I've gained 1 place. I've gone from where I started. So already I am content. But am I satisfied? Not entirely. I want another couple of places. So focus on line, apex and exits. And let's chase down this Ferrari. I get a really good exit here. So I'm wondering now, do I go down the inside or do I stay behind him, brake early? I dummy this one. And he goes really deep trying to defend when I was never going to actually get past. And that allowed me to overtake without actually really trying. So just showing your nose sometimes can have an impact. So that brings me up to P7. And already I'm pulling away from Doyle with the yellow Ferrari catching up to him. Down the main straight again. The car in front of me is car number 1 in the Ferrari of Jonathan Palini. He's dropped 5 places from 5th on the grid, from 1st on the grid rather. So I'm at this stage already thinking, if he's dropped that many places, can I catch up to him? Obviously with all the overtaking, my last lap was only a 46.4, so that wasn't particularly good. So I need to get back into at least the low 45s or preferably even a 44. So let's go. And behind me in the mirrors, we can just see that the yellow Ferrari has got past Doyle. And I'm aware that he has, so I'm wondering whether he's going to be able to close the gap to me. But again, I just need to focus on my own race and focus on the car ahead of me and not behind. If the other car catches me, that's fair enough on him. I'm really pushing now, using all of the track and possibly a little bit more. That was a track limits but no time gained, so I got away with that one. This BMW is so comfortable over the curbs there. It's really a friendly car. It has its flaws, but curbs is one area where it's not too bad. Now that yellow Ferrari looks big in my mirrors, but that's only mainly through the chicane, and he obviously drops back as the speeds increase. Right, so that's just a low 45. Again, not brilliant, but it will do for now. So let's see what else other pace I can do. I've got to try to catch Palini ahead of me, but he doesn't look like he's getting any closer in my mirrors. I've gained 2 places at this time of the race, and obviously it would be nice if I got a couple extra. I'm just hoping that I can catch Palini, and that whoever is in the cars ahead of us are going to be fighting enough that they tangle. So let's catch up with them and see if we can find what's going on there. Now I've gone 2 cars further forward. This is P4, and ahead of us we've got 3rd, 2nd and 1st. They're not too far apart, so there's every chance that something can happen there. Right, that's lap 5. We've got 2 to go. I'm now into the 44s, the 44.7, and I've gained ever so slightly on Pellini in front, but really not by much. I need some mid 44s, and I need him to make an error or two if I'm going to do anything better than staying in 6th place. I'm not entirely sure what happened. I was in 7th a lap ago. I'm not entirely sure where what happened to the guy who was in 6th. And this is not real time, so it's really difficult to see when the position changed. I'm definitely catching up under braking at the end of the straights. He doesn't seem to be too comfortable under the brakes in the Ferrari, but I'm pulling away from the 2 cars behind me and catching up to Pellini slowly. I'm hoping that he will see me coming. In fact, the leaders are not too far away now either, and I'm just hoping that either they make a mistake or I can start to catch them if they're fighting. But this is the last lap now. We're coming up to start lap 7. Final lap of the race. I'm back. I'm still in the 44s, the 44.9, and now somehow a car comes out of the pit lane. What's it? This is a 12-minute race, and of course he sticks right to the racing line. I try to duck inside, but of course he's again sticking to the racing line, and I'm finding it difficult to get through. I'll take the inside line here. I'm hoping he's seen me and he's going to make way, but I have to force my way through here. Here's a back marker after all. I'm not expecting him to make a fight of it, and he doesn't, so I'm through quite clean. But at this point I am metaphorically waving my fist at him a little bit. But Pellini, as you can see, he's now pulled away another half a second or so. So it looks like P5 is out of my reach, and I'm going to have to settle for P6, which I would not be too disappointed with. The cars seem to be a bit strung out here, so I don't think there's going to be any more major incidents. I just have to make sure I'm not the next major incident. Another incident behind me of the 2 cars get together with a back marker. Just quickly, if you don't mind, let's take that back. There should be fine, and then I'm going to go to this, and I'm going to pick it another 5 seconds back. So we are on board with Eden Peckman, and he's in the Ferrari, and ahead of him is the back marker. So let's see what happens here. It looks like the BMW is giving way, and he is, but he goes right off the track to let the Ferrari through. Why he did that, I don't know, because he's cost himself so much time. It would have been a lot easier if all he'd done was back off a little bit on the straight, give the Ferrari the racing line, and then tuck back over to tuck in behind him and carry on. That would have been a lot easier all round. But no, it's P6 for me, coming out of the last couple of turns through the chicane. Fireworks have already gone off at the grandstands. The leader has crossed the line, and flags are waving. That's a checkered flag. P6. I'm content with P6. Anytime I gain places, I'm happy, and that's another occasion when I've done just that. So thanks for watching, everyone. I'm going to call this a day. If you'd like any more of these, keep watching. Give me a like and a thumbs up and a comment in the on the stream or on the recording. So thanks very much again, and I'll see you back on track soon.